How's it going, everybody? RazingHel here, and today I'm going to give you my list of 5 annoying mobs that don't starve together that will steal your shit. Now, deciding the criteria for what made the list was a bit tricky, but I settled on mobs that either took food out of storage, like the fridge, chests, and backpacks, or otherwise took player-crafted items that aren't edible and aren't found naturally in the world. I also wanted to keep this video focusing on Don't Starve Together, so mobs that are only found in the single-player game won't be mentioned. With that out of the way, let's get started. At number 5, we have moleworms. Don't let these innocent, short-sighted creatures fool you. They're more than capable of self-detonating if you are careless enough to leave a bit of gunpowder laying about on the ground. Yes, indeed. Of the many minerals that moleworms crave, apparently gunpowder is also on that list, and once ingested by a moleworm will result in that moleworm erupting in an explosion, damaging the local environment and potentially starting fires. If you're looking for a ticking time bomb and Don't Starve Together, look no further than a moleworm and some gunpowder. At number 4, we have Berger, the Autumn Giant. While large in size and excellent at destroying the local environment by simply going for a stroll, what Berger really craves is food as he prepares for winter hibernation. This includes any food that you might have stashed away for yourself in storage containers. Since Berger is ultimately after food, you don't have to worry about him taking non-food items, but if you can't persuade him to stay a reasonable distance from your base, you could easily find him eating you out of house and home. Lure plants clock in at number 3. While ultimately fully under the control of the player, it's possible for one to spawn down in an unfortunate place, resulting in it consuming any items within range and ultimately digesting them. This can include irreplaceable items, so it's especially important to keep such items in storage, as the eye plant can't consume the contents of storage containers such as chests, ice boxes, and backpacks. Despite these drawbacks, the lure plant is still a crowd favorite and can be reliably used to dispose of unwanted items in game and can be controlled to the use of select turfs. Coming in at number 2, we have the master thief himself, Krampus. Good folk don't have to ever worry about Krampus paying them a visit, but if you harm too many innocent creatures in a short amount of time, Krampus will arrive to teach you a lesson by grabbing everything of yours within sight to stash in his sack before ultimately jumping into it himself and disappearing forever, along with all his ill-got gains. Due to the severity of this potential outcome, it's advisable to only make mischief when well outside your base. And finally, at number 1, we have Spelunkies, which are a neutral mob found underground in the ruins. Their chief means of making mischief comes in the form of knocking items out of a player's inventory in an attempt to steal them. In addition to this, they'll also steal items from chests, ice boxes, and even harvest meals from farm plots. Spelunkies are the accumulation of everything you hated about frogs, gobblers, and lure plants, all bundled up into a small furry banana-loving package. If you are base building in the ruins, you'll want to keep these cheeky blighters at more than an arm's length. So that's my list of 5 mobs in Don't Starve Together that can be a royal pain in your side, but I realized also that there are plenty of other ways to compile such a list, and more mobs could be considered for it by including the single-player game and its DLCs. Ultimately, that creative decision rests in my hands, but feel free to let me know in the comments section below which kleptomaniac is your favorite, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.